Guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Now we will dive deep into object-oriented programming concepts and top 20 questions for object-oriented programming concepts. So let's get started. Question number 1. What is object-oriented programming and how does it differ from other programming paradigms? Object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm that focuses on the creation of objects which are instances of classes that encapsulate data and behavior. OOPS differs from other programming paradigms such as procedural programming and functional programming in that it emphasizes the use of objects and their interactions rather than functions or procedures. Question number 2. What is a class in object-oriented programming and how is it used to create objects? A class in object-oriented programming is a blueprint or template for creating objects. It defines the properties and methods that objects of that class will have. To create an object, you must first create an instance of the class using the new keyword. Question number 3. What is encapsulation in object-oriented programming and why is it important? Encapsulation is the process of hiding the implementation details of a class from other parts of the program. It is important because it allows the programmer to control access to the data and behavior of an object, which helps to prevent errors and maintain code integrity. Question number 4. What is inheritance in object-oriented programming and how is it used to create subclasses? Inheritance is the mechanism by which one class inherits properties and methods from another class. In object-oriented programming, inheritance is used to create subclasses, which are classes that inherit properties and methods from a parent class. Subclasses can add or override methods and properties of the parent class, allowing for code reuse and flexibility. Question number 5. What is polymorphism and how is it used to create methods with different implementations? Polymorphism is the ability of an object to take on multiple forms. In object-oriented programming, polymorphism is used to create methods with different implementations for different classes. This allows for code reuse and flexibility as methods can be shared between different classes while still being tailored to their specific needs. Question number 6. What is object and how is it different from a class? An object in object-oriented programming is an instance of a class. It contains the data and behavior defined in the class and can be created and manipulated within a program. A class is a blueprint or template for creating objects, but it is not an object itself. Question number 7. What is the difference between a public, private, and protected access modifiers in object-oriented programming? In OOPS, access modifiers are used to control the visibility of a class properties and methods. Public properties and methods are accessible from anywhere in the program. Private properties and methods are only accessible within the class itself. Protected properties and methods are accessible within the class itself and its subclasses. Question number 8. What is a constructor and how is it used to create objects? A constructor in object-oriented programming is a special method that is used to initialize objects of a class. It is called automatically when an object is created and is used to set the initial values of the object's properties. Question number 9. What is a destructor and how is it used to destroy objects? A destructor in object-oriented programming is a special method that is called when an object is no longer needed. It is used to clean up any resources that the object may be holding, such as memory or file handles. Question number 10. What is a static method or variable in OOPS and how is it used? A static method or variable in object-oriented programming is a property or method that belongs to the class itself, rather than to any specific instance of the class. Static methods and variables can be accessed without creating an object of the class and can be used to share data and behavior between all instances of the class. Question number 11. What is an abstract class in OOPS and how is it used to provide a blueprint for subclasses? An abstract class in OOPS is a class that cannot be instantiated but can be used as a blueprint or template for creating subclasses. Abstract classes define abstract methods, which are methods that have no implementation but must be overridden by any subclass that inherits from the abstract class. Abstract classes can also provide default implementations for some methods, which can be overridden by subclasses if needed. Question number 12. What is an interface in OOPS and how is it used to define a set of methods that a class must implement? An interface in OOPS is a collection of abstract methods that define a set of behaviors that a class must implement. Interfaces can be used to define a contract between a class and the rest of the program, ensuring that any class that implements the interface will have a certain set of methods that can be called. Multiple interfaces can be implemented by a single class. Question number 13. What is a method in OOPS and how is it used to define behavior of an object? A method in OOPS is a function that is defined within a class and is used to define behavior of an object. Methods can be called on instances of the class to perform specific actions or operations, such as setting or retrieving values from properties. Question number 14. What is a property in OOPS and how is it used to store data for an object? A property in OOPS is a variable that is defined within a class and is used to store data for an object. Properties can have different access modifiers, allowing them to be accessed and modified by different parts of the program. Question number 15. What is a constructor chaining in OOPS and how is it used to simplify object creation? Constructor chaining in OOPS is the process of calling one constructor from another constructor within the same class. This is used to simplify object creation by allowing constructors to create common code or initialize properties in a specific order. Question number 16. What is a method overloading in OOPS and how is it used to create multiple versions of a method? Method overloading in OOPS is the process of defining multiple methods with the same name but different parameters within a class. This is used to create multiple versions of a method that can handle different input types or number of parameters, providing flexibility and convenience in method calls. Question number 17. What is method overriding and how is it used to change behavior of a method in subclass? Method overriding in object-oriented programming is the process of redefining a method in a subclass that was originally defined in the parent class. This is used to change the behavior of a method in a subclass while still inheriting the original implementation from the parent class. Question number 18. What is the final class or method in object-oriented programming? How is it used to prevent subclassing or method overriding? A final class or method in object-oriented programming is one that cannot be subclassed or overridden by any subclasses. This is used to prevent further modification or extension of a class or method, ensuring that its behavior is consistent and predictable. Question number 19. What is a virtual method or property in object-oriented programming and how is it used to allow for runtime polymorphism? A virtual method or property in OOPS is one that can be overridden in a subclass. This is used to allow for runtime polymorphism, where the specific implementation of a method or property is determined at the runtime based on the type of object being used. And here we go with the final question, question number 20. What is the super keyword in OOPS and how is it used to call a parent class's method or constructors? The super keyword in OOPS is used to call a parent class's method or constructor from within a subclass. This is used to reuse or extend the behavior of a parent class in a subclass, while still providing custom behavior or additional functionality. So that's it from this module. So let's innovate, create, and change the world with technology. Thank you.